Okay. Hey guys, and welcome to our live stream here for the very first time. We're really excited to have y'all here. We're actually live now. In case you didn't know, we kind of introduced a little bit a while ago, but hey, we're actually here, and everything's going pretty good.
Well, second time to tell.
Second time to tell. So I'm Willie Thomas, and I'm here with
Cassidy Gibbs.
Cassidy Gibbs. And so Cassidy is a what? What do you do here at Robson?
I am a classroom teacher, so I teach third grade math, science, social studies.
All right, and I'm the director of media integration. I'm all over the place, to kind of see y'all kind of help out. And so we're Adobe creative educator innovators. Okay, and basically, what that means is, we love utilizing Adobe products, especially Express, inside of all content areas inside of your classroom, and helping bring creativity to our students and to you, and in meaningful ways. That's what that's all about, really.
Yeah, just making things, doing what you're already doing, but just more creative, different ways of doing it. So
really, really excited about that. So here's what we're doing first. So we're going to be talking about the challenge that's coming up, or actually that's happening right now, Adobe Back to School Challenge, Animate from Audio. And Cassie has a ton of examples that she has been using in her class too as well. And then we have examples that are going to be shown for all of the different content areas. So you want to go ahead, let's get jumped in on how they can get to the particular challenge for the month, a month long. Your students, they will actually be going through stuff. But you as a teacher, you're going to go through that. I will go ahead and bookmark this link too as well. That way you're able to get to it pretty easy. And then if you want to follow along with the Back to School Challenge, it's also in the show comments over here too as well.
Back to School Creative Challenge. And this is perfect because it's going to be ready to go for you. Just click on Get Started Now, and it's going to bring you to some directions and then a PDF and it's ready to go, and it's just step by step of what you're still need to do.
Love the PDF. Like, that's really super simple how that works. You go ahead, go ahead and click on that. Let's take a look at the PDF.
Here we go. Okay, so this is what it looks like. And all you have to do is just copy this link and drop it into whatever way that you choose to your classroom. And you might use Schoology, or sometimes it's another.
That's it.
One that might be possible. Okay, so that's the only ones I can think of.
There's no Canvas users.
Yeah,
there. At least not for us. Now, for those of you who may watch us on YouTube later.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so all you have to do is, like I said, everything is here. It goes step by step. It's already laid out for you. It shows you every single thing to do. You as a teacher, you just need to drop this link and share it with your kiddos. Even has a great tutorial video that you can show them, or they can watch on their own, and it brings everything up. So all they have to do is, like it says, click on the picture or click on the link. That is it. It's going to open up the Animate with Audio. And then from here, this is where your kids can record their voice, and it's already ready to go for you. They don't have to, the background set, everything. You just have to go over directions with them of what they need to practice for the bubbles. So they're basically introducing themselves and saying things that they're looking forward to this school year, their favorite time of day, just little things about them to get to know them. And they get to pick any character of their choice. I always tell them to turn on the enhanced speech. That way they can drown out any of the background noises. And then they can, they can resize the character. They can change out the character. The only thing I would not change is the background, of course, because you need it for this particular challenge. So they can pick any character they like. I want this guy, the girl, because I am ready for some colder weather.
Oh, aren't we both? Aren't we both?
Yes. So here you would just press record, and then they can start recording. But I would definitely let them know that they need to practice what they want to say before. But there is a pause button, so they can pause in between each take before they complete the whole thing. So super easy.
Super easy. So, so real quick, if their students maybe go to Adobe Express on Clever and they click on it and it says access denied, what should they do?
Oh, for Robinson, access denied, then you want to email you.
You contact me, teacher.
Yes,
contact me
directly.
yes. And contact, because as admin, we can go in there and we can go ahead and add those students to the program itself, so that way they can get access. But especially, it only happens really to our new students in the district, but it shouldn't be very far between. I would like to say I'm pretty Johnny on the spot if I'm actually like right there at my computer. And it takes about 2 minutes for that to happen, and I'll text you or email you back and let you know it's ready to go. So definitely make sure you let us know that you need help and access with that.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool. I like the snowman. One of my favorite guys, of course, is the pirate. I like the pirate. You do a lot of R stuff going on with that. So that's pretty cool. And I love the sentence stems that are already built into this when it comes to the Animate from Audio challenge like that. So I think that that's pretty neat. Have there been some really cool ones with your students that they've done so far?
Yeah, and they turned out really, really cute. Good. I love to hear their little voices with the character. And they really got into it too. So even like your most shy of kid really enjoyed this task. And it really helped them kind of get into using that animate feature without it being too complicated. And so now that they can do that, then we can build on other things within that.
All right. So speaking of building on other things, so I'm really excited about that. So let's go ahead and jump in. I'm going to remove you here.
Yep.
There we go. We're going to come back over here. And so we're actually going to show you a couple of examples that we have done when it comes to doing this, because I know we talked about making sure that this is across the content area. Like I said, this is super easy, super simple. You saw how easy it was for her to get on there to be able to do. So we're going to have our first example come up. So this is Daniel Boone. So what is Daniel Boone going to be talking about?
Well, in social studies, and all the examples we had, I tried to relate it to TEKs that we're doing. And these, of course, are like third grade related for now. However, everything is adjustable, and we all kind of cover similar things too, so you can always remix them. So Daniel Boone is for social studies. So we're learning about communities and how communities are formed, and he's one of the ones that helped establish communities. So I thought he was a perfect example, and it's one way our kids have to show us what they know using even a timeline. So it was like a two for one on that one.
All right, well, let's take a look here and see about Dan.
Hi, let's talk about Daniel Boone and what he did to help establish communities throughout his lifetime. So here I have a timeline of some important events that have happened. First of all, he was born in 1734 in a colony of Pennsylvania. Then later in life, in 1769, he traveled to Kentucky and did an expedition there where he explored the land and he discovered the Cumberland Gap, at which he at some point was captured by the Shawnee Indians while he was there, and he was forced out of Kentucky. Then later in 1775, he moved back to Kentucky to explore some more. That's where he built what is known as the Wilderness Trail, which is a really big road that helped travelers get through Kentucky. Then he also founded the town called Boonesboro, where he basically and others built that town from the ground up and established a community there.
All right. Hey, so as you saw, Daniel Boone, the raccoon. I don't know if you did that on purpose.
I did.
That's cute. I love that. I love that. But I love how you're able to go in there and you explain that timeline of him and the things that he's doing. I mean, it's really super simple how they are able to do that and going through and adding the different types of questions and information that they need to have to be able to explain. So I do like that a lot. All right. Here's a fun one that one of my my own children did. It's pretty cute. So let's take a look at it. So for all my Spanish and foreign language people out there, go ahead and check this out.
Hola, cosas en mi bolsa. Un sacapuntas. Un papel. Un libro. Un teléfono.
There you go. So now, for her to be able to, because we're talking about vocabulary, things like that, that didn't take very long. You saw that was 16 seconds, but she was able to name all the things in her bag in Spanish. So as a Spanish teacher, that tells me, okay, she knows her her Spanish. She knows how to, identify those different things as well. And I can easily go back and check that. If need be, she can go into the editor, and we'll talk about that, show that here in a second.
Yep.
If maybe you want them to actually add the actual words to that in Spanish and what that looks like, what the word is for pencil sharpener or what the Spanish word is for paper, stuff like that. So I thought that's pretty neat.
Yeah, you can definitely bump up the rigor.
So this is a pretty cool one too. This is math that we're about to show on this one. So introduce this one real quick.
Well, this one's an upcoming unit for measurement. So we were covering perimeter at some point. And so I wanted them to be able to tell me not only what is perimeter, give me a real life example of perimeter, and of course, how to solve perimeter. So just all three things real quick.
Okay. All right. Let's take a look.
Let's talk about solving perimeter. So what is perimeter? Perimeter is the distance around something. So if I'm measuring something, it's only the outside. Now, some real life examples would include fence around a yard, like how much fence would go around it. Another example is the frame around a picture for a picture frame. And now, how do I solve this example? Well, first of all, I have to know, since it's the distance around something, it's all the sides. So to be able to figure that out, I have to add up all the sides. Now, this shape is a rectangle. So I have to use what I know about a rectangle. I know that a rectangle, the top and bottom are the same, and then the two sides are also the same length. So although it doesn't have it labeled all the way for me, I know that I need to add up 25 twice and add up the 12 twice, and then add all four numbers together. So 25 plus 25 plus 12 plus 12 equals 74 inches for the perimeter of this shape. And that's how you solve perimeter.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty cute. I love the taco.
Talk about it.
Taco about. Okay, see, yeah, you got me on that. That's
trying to be like, punny there.
I love that. I love that, and I loved how you had the shape up there that you were talking about. Mm-hmm. And you had the perimeter and you had all the different measurements, but then you also went into what perimeter was. And so if a student was to be able to turn that into you, what would that tell you?
That would tell me that, well, all the things I'm looking for, can they describe perimeter to me? Can they show me what that would look like in real life? And not only can they solve it, so you can change that up too. Either you can have them put their own measurements in there to show it, or you can already have it there. And that way you're just looking at the same problem each time. The only thing they'll be changing is making sure they have different real life examples and explaining what perimeter is.
That's pretty cool. I love that. I love that. That's pretty neat. All right. So this one, we're going to do this quick. It's a little longer, but for all my CTE people out there who, I know sometimes, this doesn't apply to me. Well, guess what? I got one. So we're going to go, Dean, who I'm talking about, Dean. And so we're going to jump in on this one here real quick. You ready? This is a health thing when it comes to reading a food label, nutrition label. Yes, which I do. I look at those a lot, by the way. Here we go. Hey guys, it's me, Toasty. So just checking real quick. Just want to let you know about how to read a nutrition fact. So when you're out there and you're looking at those labels, one of the things that at the very top, it talks about the serving size. So as you can see, this big bold letter says 230 calories. Well, that's not for the entire box. That's for each serving. So if you eat 8 things of that serving, so each serving has 2/3 cup. So think about that. So it's not a lot to get to that 230 calories, but if you do that, what's 230 times 8? That's a lot of calories that you're putting into your body. Then the next part is the guide to daily percentage value. That how much. All right, so I like I said, cut that one a little bit shorter because once again, I love how that demonstration of learning, that knowledge there. I had to actually know what a nutrition label was, number one, all the different parts of a nutrition label. And that template was simple and pretty easy. I just went and found it, put it together, and then, of course, use my Toasty. I did a little thing too, food, Toasty to toast. But it came from that. Very so that's pretty cute. I had fun with that. It was really simple. All right, so this next one is let's see, states of matter. So we got some science going on here too as well. Okay, let's check this one out.
Hello, I am going to tell you what I know about the states of matter. So there are 3 states of matter. The first one is a solid, the next is a liquid, and the third is a gas. Now matter can change different states. So let's start with the solid. So here we have crayons, Now, crayons are considered a solid because they can hold their shape unless you do something to change it. But they will stay a crayon even if I throw it across the room. They will still be a crayon. Now, however, a liquid is different because a liquid you can pour. So here I have a pitcher of juice. It takes the shape of any container that you put it in. And so as I pour it from one thing to another, it's going to change its shape. So I can throw that across the room and it's going to go everywhere. Then we have
I like the I can throw it across the room and it goes everywhere part. I wanted y'all to hear that part about the whole liquid thing. I think that's pretty cool. That's a good example. And as we go through these, they're really personal too. Like they're personalized. It isn't the same information. You really get to kind of see and hear what the students know about it. And when it comes to them creating their different types of image representations of the different things. So I do love that part.
It's definitely what they're thinking of it. And they're demonstrating their learning to them.
And the last one here real quick. So English. So for those English learners out there, well, it's ELAR, but ELL. But for
It's
English,
Arla.
Sorry. Arla, my bad. For Arla out there, so here's a great example that was put together for you too as well.
Hi there. I want to talk to you about what I know about what cause and effect means. So every action has a reason to it and a result to it. So a cause is why something happened and an effect is what happened because of that. So for example here, if I water my yard every single day, I'm hoping that the effect would be to grow flowers. So that's my example there. Now, however, if I went out to my yard and I saw that I had flowers there, and I'm not really sure how they got there, but I noticed it rained all week long, then I can assume that the cause of the flowers is because of the rain. So you can go backwards.
Okay. So that character. What Stardust?
I think so.
There we go.
Oh
man,
it's known. That one is definitely known in Adobe.
Yes, Stardust. I love that.
Popular one.
That is awesome. So that's pretty cool. How being able to once again hear your students thinking, making their thinking visible.
Yes.
And as you heard and saw through all of those different ones, as we're thinking, as we're putting that together, you can actually see and hear, okay, what's actually going through the mind. And I think it's a great way to, look at those misconceptions that might come up too as well. And then of course, get them engaged. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, when we did the Spanish one, it probably took about 15 takes from that person who did it because they couldn't stop laughing. But they also wanted to get it right.
Yes. And you're going to see that too. And that's what you talked about, the trial and the error. And it's okay to redo it and get it right. And they do. They want to perfect it. They want it to be exactly right. Because if they can explain it, then they know it. If they're having trouble explaining it, then that means that we got to provide some extra interventions or something in place to help them get to where they need to be to demonstrate mastery of that.
I love that. Love that. That DOK is super high on that one. So I was like, all right. So a couple examples there. So now let's go ahead and dive in with the time we have left. And we're going to kind of walk them through creating the template in there and how they can actually get that to their students as well as their students making one. You ready for that?
I think so.
Okay. All right. Here we go. So I'm going to share your screen here, add you back to the stage. There we go.
Okay. So to kind of get started to making a template, you want to make sure, of course, you're in your Adobe Express account as a teacher. And it looks very much like a student anyway. So what I did to kind of get started was I first picked a size that I wanted to go with. And this home screen is great because it has a lot of quick things to pick from. And I kind of knew the size I was looking for. I went with the presentation size. However, you can go to the plus sign and even make a choice from there. But I just went to presentation, and you can even make choices from there. All right. Here we go. So when you kind of hover over it, it'll say create from scratch or browse templates. So I personally went from browse templates, because Adobe has a lot of templates to go in there, and you can just remix it to make it fit to whatever need that you're looking for. So if you have an idea in your head, you can just scroll and look for something that is going to benefit you, and you don't have to start from scratch, but you can if you don't see anything you like. Or all right, so now you can see you have lots of choices here, and all I did was go through here. I was looking for something that would give me multiple boxes where they can put an image to give me an example of states of matter, and also a box that will give me something where they can describe. And if it didn't have all the things I was looking for, then I can remix one that was already there and add things that I needed. And so that's all I did there. Was I just picked the template and started from there and editing it to fit my needs. So I can show you the one that I was working on. So I'm going to go back to my stuff so you can see that. And what I like to is anything you create that you want to come back and edit, it's all built in, right?
I love that. No more
here
downloading of assets that you've made and other things to use inside of Adobe Express. I think that's pretty neat.
Yes, it's awesome. So let's see if we can find a good one. Okay, here is the map one that I did. Edit image. Or hanging tag.
Yeah, there it is.
Set as page background.
There
That
you
might
go.
help me out. Okay, there we go. I should have just did that from the beginning. Anyway, so now that once you have your template created, and I know I skipped some steps there just for the sake of time. So I picked a template, I changed out the text and everything to fit my needs. You can change colors, you can add things, whatever you want to do. You have this whole toolbar on the side to customize it. And then from there, you want to share it with your kiddos.
So yeah, they can go in there, you can share, you make put it in your libraries if you want to do that too as well. To be able to make a template, click on those 3 dots right there, right next to the downloads there. It will give you some options too as well. Make a template. And so it's coming back with the link to be able to do like the permalink, I guess sometimes I call it with there, but this is a great way too as well in making those libraries. So if you do have a bunch of different templates in there, say for science or say for social studies, especially if you teach multiple classes or you teach multiple subject areas, this is a great way too as well to get that template to your students.
Yeah. And then, so once you add it to a library, then what you do is you would go to your library. So I'm going to just drop it in one. Maybe I'll add it to my challenges save template. And then you can go back to your stuff. Actually, I'm going to go back to the home page and issue saving. Anyway, then from there, you can share your library. You'll go back to those 3 dots and you can share a link from there as well. That seems sometimes to be the easiest way.
Yes.
Yeah, and like exactly, if you have multiple templates in there that you want to share out to, if you want to give them options, you have that as well.
Now, what I do like is, like you saw in the challenge, so if you did make a template or you made a background, especially if you just want kids to, if it's going to be the exact same, if you're able to actually go in there and take that background, and I'll bring it up here real quick there. So I'm sharing my screen, and I got a whole bunch of stuff going on my screen here. So I'm gonna hit that there, so you'll be able to see there. So you'll see on my background here. So this is the vintage console table build that I have a guy here that I actually did one for already. But I'm going to come over here real quick, and we're going to add one. Nope. I'm going to duplicate this one. No, I want to duplicate. Let me go back. Sorry about that, guys. All right. I have one in my stuff. There it is. There's my plain one that I have. And like she said a while ago, I'm going to add as a page for my stuff. And if I add as a page, it'll give me multiple pages here. So that way I can leave this one alone so I won't mess with it. So if I want this to go in, so that way I can make it I can go animate from it with audio. I've built this out. If I want to, like you were showing a while ago, put my question stems and things off in the circles for them to be able to get to. I can then have that. I'm going to download that. I'm going to save it as a PNG on my computer. Okay. As you're there. So I'm just going to hit download. There we go. Vintage build. And then jump back out into Adobe Express. And there is that suggested quick actions from that animate from audio. And it's right there. And so now we're in that Adobe Express that we just did. And so this is where I can come in here. I'm going to go ahead and find my background. And how I do that, I'm going to upload my image. There's my vintage build. There it is. I can put a little avocado in there. But as you saw, it was a different shape. I had a different size for my background. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change that size here. What was that? Was that was YouTube size maybe? 16 by 9? It sure was. Look at that. Right off the bat. There it is. So now, remember, I don't have any text in here from my previous one that I put in there, sentence stems, getting them going. But you can always add that later as you're going in there. But now that I have this, now I have my character. I can go ahead and I'm not going to go ahead and record, but there's a cool little button over here on the right side of your screen. Okay, as you can see there, there's little 3 dots. So if I click on those 3 dots, I can copy the link with these settings ready to go with that. So you can say copy the link with everything that you have in there, and that's going to get you where you need to be to as well with that. So that's a pretty neat little thing. And then they can just pick their character and change it, resize it, however they want to with that. Okay? So what about recording? When you're talking to your students about recording, what's something that you kind of remind them of when it comes to like length and why and stuff like that?
Well, I just tell them like you need to rehearse, kind of really think about what you want to say before you start recording. And then I tell them like too, you don't want to go on for too long. You want to get to the point. But the way to kind of help them rehearse, they can write it down. They can make sure they have all the speaking points they want to cover. That way they don't miss anything. And then, but I do like that how they can pause it along the way too. That way if they need to stop and think about the next thing and kind of regroup themselves, then they have the opportunity to do that. Now, I think it does have a limit on there, doesn't it? Like two minutes. So yeah, they got 2 minutes.
You better get it in there, get it done.
And really, honestly, anything longer than 2 minutes, no one's listening probably anyway. So the 2 minutes is like the sweet spot, I think, too. They're going to get what they need to say within that 2 minute time frame.
I like how we talk about being real concise when it comes to the things that you're wanting to know.
Straight to the point.
Yes. That's a pretty good little deal.
Yes. Yeah. So if they thoughtfully think about it beforehand, then they'll keep a whole lot of the and I notice I will do it too, just as a filler, and you don't realize you're doing it.
Yeah. Well, so since I have mine in here now, and I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to X that. So as you saw with the other little guy I had in there, I'm going to bring this one up here. Where'd he go? Is it there? There it is. I got a lot of stuff.
Your computer's a lot faster than mine.
There we go. Okay. So I have my guy in here that I did earlier. There he is. So he's the video. And so like we talked about earlier, now I have this guy here. Go ahead and play him there. So I have Mark there. He's talking about the video, but as you can see, there's nothing there. But now I'm able to go in here if I want to add some text into that as well. I click on Rise and Grind, and I can add kind of an overlay on that text. Maybe, I don't want the and in there, and I don't want this information in there, and I just want to use the rise. And I can say start in here. And so as I'm going through and I'm working on that, with my start here, now I'm able to go in and I can even grab my video that I have made or my image that I have made or a student has made, and they can talk about that. So let's go ahead and grab one real quick. I'm just going to do one here to kind of show you. So I'm going to go to media and I'm going to upload from the device, unless I have already, nope, I have not put it in there. So I'm going to upload from device, and you can see all my amazing downloads here that I have. So we'll go with this very first one right here. There it is. All right. So this one, I'm going to say, oh, this is where I started making the table legs. Loud. I'm going to move this guy over here. Now, as you can see, these are circles. What's pretty neat is I'm going to go click on this crop button here, and I'm actually going to click the circle, and I'm going to move where I want it to go. There's a good little example of me right there within the circle. There we go. Just click outside of it, and there it is. I just cropped. So once again, I'm still demonstrating all the different tasks that's in there after I have done my animate from audio with inside of there. So I think that that's a pretty neat. If you want to go back and play that, here's what it looks like. You can't hear Mark because of the loud table saw. And I know you're asking, well, Willie, don't you turn the volume down? I'm going to go ahead and mute that right there. So now you still see me working. Going through there, and I go through the different steps on my screen. You have that in your head. So it's a really easy way to really get kids to start explaining their work. And I really like how simple it is for them to do that. I'm gonna stop sharing there. What else? What other? So they're done, right? They're done. We want them to get it to us. What's one of the best ways that you like to have the students share their finished product?
Well, I mean, just like how we download the template and share, that's the same way I do it with them. I tell them once they're done with their project, they just click the download button.
Okay. You want to bring that up here?
Yeah, I'll bring it up.
Bring you back up there. There we go.
So at the top right is where I tell them just click download. And I mean, this is how I did it. And you can just, in the way it's coming up is perfect. So I just tell them to just click download. However, you can adjust the file format there if you needed to, or even, I guess, the size as well.
Yeah, 720p is going to be a little smaller.
Yeah.
Resolution isn't going to be as sharp. It's still a good resolution, but 1080p and then, of course, 4K there's going to be some big files. So you as a teacher, if you're making something for your students that you really want them to see, or for your parents, this would be a great resolution as well, because the video editor inside of Adobe is on fire right now. I'm like, it's crazy.
It's easy to use, everything all in one place. So it's awesome. So once you have the settings that you want, just click download, and it'll save to their computer, their Chromebook. And then from there, I tell my kids to go back into Google Classroom. So what I already have ahead of time in there is an assignment ready to go, so that they have somewhere to attach it. And so I've just kind of trained them of how to attach the assignment to it by clicking add. I mean, if you're familiar with Google Classroom, there is a button in there where you can add the assignment to it. And so they just upload the file.
Cool. I love that. And Schoology, same way. So if you do an attachment, students can upload their files as well when you do the submission button inside of Schoology. So same exact way. If you're wanting to maybe them to add this to their portfolio that they've created, web page in Adobe Express too, they can hit the share button over here, and they can publish it to the web. And so when they publish this to the web, it will give them a link, and then they can create a button on their website that will take them to the actual video itself. So when I do hit publish to the web, like I said, it'll do it's working, it's doing its thing. And like I said, this makes it easy for them to really get that information out there in a safe, not safe, in a place where everybody can access it without having to download it and upload it if they're wanting it to be viewed online like that. So that's pretty cool how that works. Let's see. Let's go check and see if there are any comments here. Let me go back here. All right. Let's go back. So we got Diana Newton. This is very cool. Thanks for sharing. Well, hey, thank you, Diana, for showing up and learning with us today. definitely be able to go back and share with your other first grade teachers out there and let them know how easy and simple this is. And if they need any help, reach out to us. We can definitely come by and work with them on that too as well.
Yeah.
Another one thing I kind of want to throw in there at the end was I was thinking about as your students are all making the different parts of matter, or they're talking about different characters of a book, or they're talking about different historical figures like Daniel Boone or something like that, or even with the Spanish. So taking each one of those videos and now putting those videos inside of an ed puzzle. So now you have a test that you didn't have to make, or an assessment you didn't have to make, that the students made, and then you can add questions to those particular videos that the students made.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I was just thinking about that. So we're going to give a couple examples about that later on. So I thought that was a pretty neat,
like the cause and effect one.
Yes.
Each could make their own cause and effect, just the images, nothing else.
Nothing
and then
else.
You can make that into an assessment where kids will have to access each one and tell us, what the cause and effect was by just looking at the pictures.
I like that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. So remember, it's a reminder, they still have time to participate in this month's challenge. Every month they have a different challenge going on. This month's challenge is right here, ready to go. Okay. So make sure that you are on social. Yes. And you're posting on there too as well. Hashtag Adobe EDU Creative. You can definitely win a plushie bear. Okay. I think Jordan is the name of that plushie bear.
I think so.
But if your kids do it and you submit the link, have you submitted your kids to the link yet? To the Google form?
No, I have not.
Okay, she's getting there.
I mean, we got it done. We need to submit it.
You got to submit it.
Yeah, I mean, they're super cute. I mean, if you're going to want to try to animate, this is like the perfect opportunity because it's so easy that PDF ready to go. So try it. Do it. Do one for yourself first too, and then show your kids you got time.
So easy. So, and real quick, if you are working with Adobe Express and you're using the link, the new.express.adobe.com for us, Robson, and for other things too. Now, your students shouldn't be getting, like sometimes you might get that malform error, but we fixed the link inside of Clever, so they should be able to do that. But if you are getting that, make sure that you're clearing your cookies and your cache. That is definitely been one of the fixes that we've seen too as well. And make sure your Chrome is updated too. So you want to make sure that happens and works as well. Because I know you were getting that error too.
Yeah, on my personal Chromebook. Yeah.
Yes. And then once you cleared your cache and cookies and stuff, that seemed to fix it. And then, like I said, make sure that your Chromebook is updated to the latest version. Google keeps putting out those Chrome updates like crazy. So just be looking at that. All right. Well, guys, if there aren't any more questions, thank y'all so much again for watching and attending today's live webinar session on creating and using Adobe Animate from Audio with myself and Cassidy Gibbs. Okay. Well, thank you guys, like I said, once again, and y'all have a great rest of your evening, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.